You could have won that so hard.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just unlucky they got Baron.
No, that's not it. I mean,
It's not unlucky.
I mean, the early was... Yeah, the early was really bad, and then we kind of came back.
honestly, they're playing like donkeys, but we're like every time they're three people diving the ore in the mid lane or something, and like the only way that play works out for them is if you guys like run at them and let them like get 3 kills for free, and that's what happens every time. Like every time they make a play like that, we just answer it by doing like the same as they are doing. Like they thrive on having like chaotic team fights and like things don't make any sense because their team comp falls off. Like it's just super bad against your team comp. As you saw, like they couldn't really like you even like the only way they win is like playing like that and then like diving, like trying to dive you, or like if you're just wave clearing and like when they dive you respond by you respond by like punish them properly, like not letting them like get on top of your backline and like walking into them. There's nothing they can do. Like even if they get a kill in a dive, they can't. If they don't have any waves, they can't do anything. And you like even you saw even taking Baron for them was really hard. I mean we didn't have any vision on the Baron. Like I don't know why, but
It made it really hard though. After once they got it, it was so much easier for them to just break base.
yeah, but like, there's no way they should even get the Baron. But even after they had the Baron, I still think like the Renekton was like you saw the Renekton top for like a full minute, like when they were sieging bot, and you just I don't know why you just don't engage on them there. Like you're 5v4 and you're super strong. That way.
I don't know.
Like it feels like you're I don't know.
So it was so hard because they had Veigar Cage, I feel like, and Gragasol.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
so hard to know.
I mean,
We don't
sure.
really have
Yeah.
Ornult is the only engage, and after we didn't have it. We have a Asaro, but it's also kind of awkward to use. Yeah, it's awkward to use if we don't have like anything else there going. Like we cannot just
Which moment are you talking about, Simon?
when they were sieging in hit.
Yeah, like the last siege after they got Baron, and then they were sieging. I mean, I think you had like five different opportunities to engage on them, but you just
We didn't have any ultis up.
Yeah, the ultis were the big issue, I think, and that's at some point we had. But
did they have ults?
Yes.
we used everything on Renekton basically.
Yeah, like that was also super weird. Like, why did you do that? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Renekton was alone, and he wants.
Yeah,
to
but
split,
you're
so
using
killing-
like
so
four
killing the Renekton, and then-
really high cooldown ultimates
you
to.
can wait it out.
Yeah.
The Renekton
Yeah,
is useless either way. Like, what does Renekton do against your team comp? He doesn't do anything.
But no, that's not true. That's not true. Certainly not true. I mean, Renekton's been murdering our backline. If we didn't kill him beforehand.
How does Renekton ever get onto your backline?
I don't know, but it happened. Few times.
Yeah. So then the problem is that you allow him to get onto your backline, not that like he does a lot of damage or whatever.
I mean, we don't really have much answer if he just flashes into us, honestly, and he has.
But how long range is his flash? Like 5,000 yards? Or like?
Yeah.
I mean, we have Siggs and Ashe. Like it's not.
Yeah, and then there's things like Glacial, Gragas-ulti, and then he just borks Ornn, and it's
Yeah,
like
like all you have to do is clear waves this game, and you like, yeah. If you're clearing waves, then there's no way that Renekton can flash onto the Siggs or the Ashe or anyone.
It's mostly because he was so far ahead already that he's.
Yeah,
able to
like
just,
even if it's 6 items at that point, he's still gonna be useless. It's such a useless champion. Like he can't do anything against.
I don't agree with.
But how does he like if you're playing this properly?
If he's yeah, but because he's so far ahead, he was actually tanky enough to get in there. Like
to dive like 2 turrets, minefield, Syra plants and E and fucking like no.
There's more champions to worry about. That's the problem. Like Gragas-ulti nukes.
Yeah, and you like anytime they start running into you, you start peeling back, and they're like you invalidate their whole team comp. What do they do? Like you talked about the Veigar E.
In this case, they actually like can take towers. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
so-
just identify their like they can't do anything. Like it's
They can take towers. Like they just literally zone you off the tower. You can't even clear the wave.
Sigs can clear the wave from fucking miles away. Like
Yeah, okay, and then Gragas
Say,
is gonna
like-
be there. You have Callista ult to worry about because they will dive you with Terra ult up. Then
yeah,
you
if they dive you 5v5, then they don't win. If you peel back, there's no way they win. If they commit for that, you like it even happened when you guys like when you fought around mid or whatever, and then you got the Drake after that.
Oh yeah.
Like all
when we
team fights should go like that. There's no other way for them to realistically make something happen than to fucking dive you. Like if you're just properly wave clearing, there's nothing they can do except for like go as 5 and then try to.
That was the Baron fight.
Sorry.
You mean the Baron fight? That's when we got Dragon.
Yeah, near the Baron, yeah.
Yeah. When you stop them
above.
you stop them from Baron, and then they like started chasing you, and then you kill
The
them.
reason we won that fight is because I caught like Veigar off instantly.
That's not the reason. That's not the reason you won. But yeah, that was good. But
That's the reason we win the fight, honestly.
you trade Ash for Veigar. I'm not even sure it's worth. Like at this point it was because he was so far ahead and you were so far behind. Yeah, but
Yeah.
like in a normal team fight.
I actually would have been gotten out if not.
But let's watch that fight. I mean, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Let's
We
watch
can watch some replays. Sure.
Here.
I think it's better to identify mistakes anyway.
Yeah.
True.
Like this is
Yeah.
the situation. So Ornn just TP'd in. Graves
Yeah.
is still far. But we're like, yeah, we have to stop this, and Ornn is kind of stuck as well, which makes
Yeah.
us like,
Yeah, we have to help.
Is there? We just lose Baron.
By the way, are we playing like,
We're
Aren't we out?
or is it over for today?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so first of all, when Ornn TPs, there's no reason for us to try to like use the Sig's ult to steal the Baron. So that was the first thing.
Internet died for a second, but I'm back.
Alright. Yeah. So when since Ornn is TP, I think the TP is good. Like it stops the Baron. Like it puts them in a weird spot as well.
here. The Zigzag's
Yeah.
used
Yeah.
already.
So the Sig's ult is not good there. We should just sit on it. Like the Ornn is doing fine here. Like he's super tanky. They can't kill him. You guys should just use the time to like get into position. And the Veigar is out of position there. And we traded Ash for
Sniped over the wall by Callista, which I couldn't see.
Yeah. But I think it was fine in this fight just to kill the Veigar.
I mean, the Callista gets a good flank on and gets the Terra out as well, which makes this pretty hard.
yeah. Okay, this is actually really messy, but
The Callista just like flanked from the other side.
yeah, like
I mean,
okay. So this is weird because we're winning the fight so early. So we're chasing them instead of peeling back. But like if we peel back, there's no way they get like all these flanks off and.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think we were actually really close to killing like everyone there too.
Yeah, this was good. Like if you win the fight, then you obviously want to chase them and so on. So then it's gonna be a different dynamic. So
I mean, they used like exhaust because otherwise, I don't know who else was there, but someone got ulted and then like the fight kind of dragged out
ways
because
to
of
go.
all the super spell usages.
Yeah.
Yeah. At a fight like Inip, it's actually hard to peel back because there's like no tower or objective. I don't know. It's awkward at Inip to peel.
But
Like at
Still
this,
just got
it's-
Inip otherwise.
at this point, like you were saying, engage on the Renekton, right? In a low pick.
what the Renekton is top, right? Or when is this?
I don't know where he is.
I think it's even later, right?
It's even
or-
late. Like they just
or
teach
it's now.
power
Oh, no.
focus, so we can't really
Now
go.
we see.
Like now Renekton
like-
choose.
Yeah, and
Yeah. So
they
now
are-
pause now. And look at where everyone is. Okay. Okay, so they're split up. I mean, you could try to engage on the Gragas and the Veigar.
With what? With what? Run it. Auto attack. That's all we have.
with the Ornn, or
Yeah.
just like
running
into them.
20 seconds. My
yeah,
ult
but
still, like-
you can just run into them, or like
I don't think you can because they have Veigar Gragas.
the
they're not-
Veigar gauge
This,
is
this is how they play. Like they walk back. See, this is how they play, and then it's like cage.
yeah.
Yeah, because like the Syra is the one who's like closest to them. That doesn't make sense.
No. I mean, just this is how they play it. They just drop like Gragas Barrel and like Veigar Cage, and then they auto the thing like twice, and then they just walk away. That's literally how they siege this whole thing with Baron minions.
Yeah, but like now you can still try to engage on them now. Like now you can even get a flank off if we walk with the.
Yeah, I want to engage now, but
Yeah.
because I've ult
It's
basically.
pretty bad as well, the ulti time, because everyone backed off already.
Yeah, but I called this.
Yeah, I
did
know.
call
We
it.
were calling it.
Well,
Like everyone walked away and like Graves was tagged already.
Did we have ult on Syra before? We can all like we can. I mean,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had it, but I didn't.
we can flash
Yeah.
like we can even flash ult with the Syra or like flash E or something.
Yeah, but
if they're
The only play we have left here.
Yeah, but we have to be sure we get something because as when I flash E, I can flash E W W R and then I'm dead. Like that's what happens. I
yeah,
insta
but if you die and we get a good engagement,
we-
that's super.
yeah,
wide.
yeah, it works. But then we have to like be all there and
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, we all can't like be standing and looking at like our Nexus turrets and like being super afraid, or I don't know, just waiting to lose pretty much.
But it's also because they're so far ahead. on
Yeah,
Damage.
yeah, sure, but I mean, you're
Like,
not gonna get a better
Veigar-
shot. You're not gonna get a better shot than that.
I think the majority was already before this. But,
Yeah,
like that actually
early
like,
was pretty
set the
fun.
game.
Yeah.
yeah,
This was also like pretty poorly by you actually. You should have flashed this on the position.
yeah, I should have.
Like this is the only way they play the lane. Like here, like, she literally stands still. And here, like you fucking flash. You have
Yeah.
to. Like
yeah. I think
they're literally both
Yeah.
looking at you. You're 2v1. Even
we,
if
we,
it's a
we
2v2.
should have had lane ward as well for like to be able to spot Gragas when he does.
Yeah.
We didn't have wards. We only had one ward. This is the only ward we had left.
Yeah,
Okay.
I asked
whatever.
for Graves to come down. We have no wards.
yeah.
We asked for
Like,
Graves
I
to come
don't know.
down because we didn't have vision of Gragas, so we knew he was bot side
Where did you use all your words? Or
before level 1. Because I placed this one.
Yeah. And I placed the tribe press.
I feel like I should have placed that one actually. That was my bad. I could have called it. Sorry.
Like I placed this ward, and then Zyra uses this one, I think.
Yeah, because I think that's one. Also, we want to have either Tripress or actually we want both Tripress and Blade Ward. So if we don't have Tripress, they can just walk from there.
So I'm on
I think you should do like here. Yeah, you have two words here. One of them should be in the brush.
I don't have 2 words.
Yeah, it's Vision.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
This is vision score.
But yeah, do you have one up, right?
No, we
No,
placed
I don't have anything up.
Hang on. Stop. Go back.
it ward now.
Did you used it, right? The Syra.
Yeah.
Zyra wards this one.
Okay. So what
Because
about
Gragas is red? He can come from the.
you have a word as well, right? Dash.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah. You should use it in the.
I don't think it is because
Yeah,
I
it's-
placed this one.
Yeah, it's bugged. It's bugged.
I don't think it is. Like I don't think it's up. Honestly.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was not up.
Yeah, it also shows that I have one while I used one in the river.
Okay.
I don't know.
Here, I think we should have like counter gank. Honestly, like. This,
The Graves could have been here because we
Yeah.
knew it was here. Like just hovering here is good.
As
Because
honestly, I think it's even better to have the word. I think it's even better to have the word in the lane brush than in the tri brush.
yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
Like this were also.
Yeah, but I was
Like
just.
that's the only way he can gank you, pretty much. He can't come from like.
Both ways.
Well, if we don't have vision, he can.
If you have one ward, so if you put it here,
They saw that we wanted Tripress, so they come from lane. If we watch the lane, he comes from Tripress.
Yeah.
so I don't know. This is the 50-50, and if they.
Well, I mean, after you shove in the wave, then you can do it like when you back out, then they won't see it. And also, like even if they know, like if he comes from that side, he's not like. First of all, we have the Ashy, which helps us a lot.
That's already
And
used.
then- Yeah, but
Because you spot the red buff. That's why we know he's guaranteed bot lane because we used it on the red
Yeah.
buff.
yeah, okay. So maybe we're overanalyzing. We already had a pretty good idea that he was there,
Yeah,
like
we knew
around.
he was bot side. We knew he was bot
Yeah,
side.
so we probably shouldn't be looking to fight
Like-
at all. or
we
like
didn't
fight like that. Like we should.
I should have flashed, but I was like watching that here. I wasn't like.
Get the Wayfarer. Like,
Yeah.
This is fine. But the moment you get too close here, but
But see, here I'm like, okay, I can dodge into it. Like,
yeah, you have to flash like 100%. No way you dodge this. Never. Even 2v2 you die here. Like,
I don't know though.
yeah, you're dead.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you,
but
you,
you
you die.
can
You
go
die
back.
for sure.
Like look at this Callista movement as well. Like it was so obvious this was an all-in.
Yeah.
Like she literally just walks straight at you.
Yeah.
The whole
and
lane,
it-
the whole lane she's been afraid of you, and now she's randomly walking straight at you. And then like this happens. How are you gonna dodge this? Like,
Here I should flash. Yeah.
Like no
But-
way you dodge
But
this.
look, go forward.
What?
Like, if Gragas doesn't come, I can flash, and then.
I know, but still,
then-
you're
then-
dead. I actually
Yeah,
think that,
you kill Kalista
probably, but
because then Kalista's 1v2 if
I
she
know,
flashes.
but
If she
that's
flashes,
Gragas' spot. So on top of
she
this,
doesn't. Yeah.
but
yeah.
it's everything on top of each other. So it's one, the all in. If this scenario happens, they both literally walk into you. It's like pretty obvious they're looking for the fight.
Yeah.
So,
But I was thinking we are stronger. I
And
was
then-
thinking honestly, like that was
and
then
on
my
top
bad.
of it,
That
Gragas'
was-
spot.
That was my bad. But the reason I didn't flash was that I thought we were stronger in 2v2.
Not if they get full CC on you. Like, that's Callista. I mean, the other solution is to have Graves like literally in like Tribush area, so we
Like
guarantee that.
we
Gragas-
agreed that we wanted to have like we wanted to play with the Graves around bot side, which I think we did.
don't know. I
We
was
did-
kind of tilted because
No, but
we didn't.
Listen,
play
listen.
according to
Let
plan.
me finish the point. Like we want to play around bot side. We want to have like Graves pressuring bot side, but that doesn't mean like I think you said it in the game, Michelle. You said okay, every time Gragas is bot, you need to be here. Like that doesn't make sense. Like that's not how you play
It
League.
does.
You like
That's how you play Graves.
no,
You literally
no.
pick
He
Graves.
needs to
Okay.
farm his camp. Like if Graves
Okay,
is
okay.
farming, he's farming way faster than the Gragas.
Okay.
Like if
Okay, but tell me one thing then. Why the fuck do we pick Graves if we want to play pressure bot lane then?
but
If you say he's gonna farm his camps, that means he's not in lane pressuring. I think
he is close. He's close enough to be able to like
wasn't.
neutralize
Was he
a situation
What?
which.
He wasn't close enough to reply. I think Zyra should have flashed 100%. Like that's
Yeah, I should have. Yeah,
Like,
I
that's
agree.
Yeah.
the biggest mistake here, but I think
Yeah, like, well,
he
first
tried-
of all, she shouldn't have been that close to the Kalista.
Zyra like mispositioned and then he got
Yeah.
fucked basically.
Yeah.
Like and he should have.
Like you need to play positioning. That's all it is. Like you need to like play you need to play like the range of possibilities pretty much.
Yeah.
And you need to
Yeah.
you need to
What?
you need
But I
to
know.
you need to be able to react to what is likely going to happen.
Okay, but what's the win condition here for early game? That's what I'm asking.
What do you mean? Like
What's the early game win condition?
what do you mean
So,
early game win condition?
Yeah, you have a way to set up the game, right, for yourself. We said it's bot lane, right? We want to have
Yeah,
be able
I mean,
to.
yeah, we want to have Drake control and we ideally we want bot lane to get out, but like we don't have to. Like we all skill him so hard. Win condition is going past 25 minutes without like super feeling.
Yeah, but we picked this for bot lane prio, and
We
it doesn't
We
work.
pick it because it's good against the Kalista and the Taric. That's why we pick it, pretty much. And
Yeah,
and
but
because like we scale better, where we should be able to do well in the lane. And
It's the same situation as picking Caitlyn. You pick a pushing lane, you pick a prio lane, and you want to make sure it does not fall. That's the only fucking thing that matters for jungle here, I think. Like that's
yeah,
the
but,
most.
okay, so do you want them to stand in the fucking
Yeah.
brush in the lane brush there and for like 5 minutes? So
No,
like
No,
it
after
does-
scuttle till we like get the rid of the wave.
Okay, so what you want to do?
okay, so
Wait,
then let's say the Gragas is farming meanwhile. Like we're losing like
Doesn't matter. Actually, doesn't matter. And
He
okay,
wasn't for me.
Other option. So what? Gragas farms this. So what? Like you wanna make sure this lane stays alive. That's the only thing that matters. The only thing you wanna make sure that doesn't happen here is that Gragas gets this gank off. If Gragas gets this gank off, the game goes south already. If he doesn't, then the lane's fine. And then after, you guarantee that he's not there, and the wave's like fine, so they can't die to the gank. That's when you move away.
the
When
time
you're- when you're-
like the way you need to look at it is like
He trades his time. He trades his time for the safety of the lane.
yeah, but
That's how it is.
You don't do it like you need to be more synchronized. Like you can't just say that okay, I need you to be here right now, or like, and also at the same time, like if you play that.
It's fine. Like he's doing the scuttle. Like here, he offered safety because like the lane's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after.
Yeah, like what is Graves doing wrong here? Like what?
Okay, I think here he should be moving into Tribush just to guarantee the lane. If he's in Tribush and Gragas, like if it's a lane gank in this case, but if Gragas comes in here, he can literally just walk into his jungle here, like down from below, and confirm that the lane's fine. That's all you need to do. Like just validate the lane's fine, and then you just move out from there.
Yeah, sure. But
And I think that's how you play the whole game. I think you just get Prio in the lane, and then you just run into his jungle, and then you just bully. Because I do think Graves wins. Full HP, and I think Gragas is gonna kill you.
But like we know he's probably already cleared, right? Or like why would we?
Yeah, but you just look for Gragas. You just go into the jungle to find him, not the fucking camp. I don't give a shit about the camp.
But that's exactly what I'm doing here.
But you went
Seriously,
the wrong way.
No,
That's
no,
wrong
no,
way.
no, hang on, shut up for a second. Seriously, I take the scuttle. We see him on the red. I move into his jungle to look for
Yeah,
him.
but
That's
he
exactly what I'm
outpassed
doing.
you. He outpassed you so hard. It's like hard
Wait,
outpass.
go back. Did we actually see him on the red buff? Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we did.
We did.
Yeah, so then you already know that he's like, why are you playing like this? Like, what are you trying to achieve like in the lane right now? Like,
Because they want me to
But look
be-
at this level 1. Look at this level 1. Look at
yeah,
how
this
it's
is
ahead.
really good. It's really all of this is really good. All this
We
is,
destroyed this level 1.
yeah,
So
yeah.
hard.
Yeah, it's really good. All of this is good. And then like late, but I mean, at the time that Syra died, like what are you trading for there? Like what are you trying to achieve there?
All I'm trying to say, generally speaking.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
I mean,
talking
you can't just like you need to think about it in a bigger perspective. You can't just like okay, if we fuck up, we need you to be here to like pull us out of the bad situation.
No,
like
no.
Gragas
You're not getting my
can't
point.
predict
You're
when
not
you're
getting my point.
he can't
You're not
predict
getting-
when you're making a mistake. Like you need to play it properly. Like you need to play. Like, you know that the Gragas is bot side. The only like you're winning the lane super hard.
fucking answer.
The only way you lose this lane at this point is if you kill
It's
if you die by Gragas. So don't die
Yeah.
from Gragas. Like it's up to you. It's not up to Graves. Like even if the
one-
Graves is there, even if he's there, you still get the Cyrus still gets one shot. Like it's maybe you get a like it's
Okay, let's listen. Just stop talking for a moment. Listen. He fucked up position wise. He should have flashed. 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
He fucked up.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Doesn't change. But generally speaking, and this doesn't change based on the game, is that if Graves is the only one here, or the jungler in general, is the only one here that can guarantee Gragas does not get this off. And if he does, they full committed with flash and everything, you return something. That's what you're here for. I don't give a fuck about any camps. I don't give a fuck about anything. You just want to make sure Gragas does not get this done. That's all you need to do. That's literally your win condition here of your game. This lane, it's Ornn, it doesn't matter. Like, Ziggs, he's just farming away against Veigar, nothing is gonna happen here. There's literally one possible gank for them, and they picked for it, which is this lane. The only thing you want to make sure, and as we talked about this in Select, is that you want to make sure the lane is safe. Like, if you're never gonna be able to pressure this, and you don't want to pressure this, I'll just pick a champion that's always gonna get pushed in. And
Yeah, we can play Ezreal, Yumi, and AFK.
yeah, that's literally what you pick this lane to play up, not to play back. Even if it's a
it's not binary. It doesn't mean that you can like stand under the turret for like 20 minutes. I mean,
Oh, I know, but
if you know that the Gragas.
Yeah, but we know Gragas is gonna gank bot. We know he's gonna look for it.
Yeah.
So
what's
So at this point, like now you see him, okay, then you know, like, okay, for the next like 30 seconds, 1 minute, we play differently. Like we play the lane differently. It's not gonna mean that you like give up your lead or anything. It just means that okay.
I mean, they get the free lane back. They can restore the lane balance, which is what you want to prevent. So I
Yeah.
think Gragas is here to try and get this lane out of trouble, because they're actually fucked. If we can keep this pressure, we're fucked
yeah,
completely. Like lane's fucking doomed for them. And then the only way to solve that and guarantee that they cannot make a return play on this, because they already fucked up by that level 1 trade, right? Their answer is sending Gragas down to help make a play. That's the only thing they can do. That's literally the only thing they can do. And otherwise he's gonna go farm, and Graves farms faster, so he's gonna catch up anyway. Like the only thing that happens if he decides not to do this, if he decides to just recall and walk away, he's gonna go into topside and farm. Like he's gonna be what, like this little bit ahead on topside. He's gonna be ahead on being at Orn. Like what? Gives a fuck. Literally, like
Yeah,
there's
so it comes down to what gives you the bigger edge. The Gragas being there, like after the Zyra dies, or like making the.
oh, take the dying Zyra out of the equation, because that's not something that's gonna be consistently happening.
Yeah,
I
okay,
think
but
no matter the
it's more about okay.
No matter the situation, he fucked up. He died. He
Okay,
shouldn't.
okay, but okay, let's.
I agree on that. I agree on that. He fucked
It's
up.
more
he
about
shouldn't.
you wanting to be able to stay in the same position,
Yeah,
like
you
you
want
want
to
to.
punish.
Yeah.
You want to punish this,
Yeah.
right? That's why you draft the fucking lane.
But I mean I don't think you need to necessarily like keep them under turret all the time. I mean, if you can get a freeze off, that's gonna be good as well.
I think you want to punish. I think you want to get pressure on the lane because you pick a lane for pride.
Yeah, but
Like, if you-
you don't need
if
to
you-
be permanently like having them under the turret.
I mean, the moment you poke, you're gonna push the wave, basically.
Yeah, sure.
But
But I
if
mean,
Zyra your Viper's volley, like the wave's gonna be pushing.
if the wave if you manage to get the wave to bounce, then it's gonna it's gonna freeze under your turret, and they like what are they gonna do? Like then they're even more fucked. And especially if the Graves is close by, because then we can even kill them if they try to unlock the freeze.
I mean, I'm just telling
Like
you.
at this point, like look at this. Like why are we contesting here? Like it's pushing into us. Like it's.
No, I know, but you tend the wave, so they can't siege your tower. This is literally.
Yeah.
fine.
But
This is-
they can't siege against you. What? Like
This is legit.
you're playing
No.
Ashe Zyra. Like they can't siege. Like why
No,
are
no,
you? You're not thinning the wave. You're killing all the. You're killing
that's fine.
all the range
I
creeps.
don't want to be under tower. Why would I want to play Zyra Ashe under
You don't
my
have
own
to
tower?
be under. Like you don't have to be like
Why do I, okay, just
You
let me ask you,
ideally
why do I want to
pause.
play Zyra?
Ideally, you want to freeze it at like where the melee minion, the first melee minion is. Like there's you want to freeze there.
We try to freeze it. Gragas comes and breaks the freeze.
Yeah, he has.
No, no.
They have to pull their jungler there to get out of that shitty situation.
Yeah, but
Do
they
you think
already-
that's?
Yeah, but
Do you think
that's
like
not
think about this from all the different perspectives? Is that winning or losing for them? Like they pull the grind, and if we know that they're doing that, if we're able to like scatter it out somehow, then like that's where we can really like punish them with the Graves, because the Graves is also bot side. So like if we know that they're frozen like
What
at a
is he
super.
getting out of this? One
They're-
plant.
They're
It's a
frozen.
plan.
They get much out of it. Besides this gang cover, he's not gonna get anything out of this. He's just gonna go back, clear wolves, and then I don't know, reset or like path towards top again.
Yeah, but if he would be here, it would be like
Yeah.
we could.
I mean, I agree that.
Like,
what
what
do
you're
I think?
saying-
Like, I don't think like any of this should be happening. To be honest, I think you should let.
Yeah, I should have.
You should let the wave push into you, because you have a nice freeze coming up because you bounce the
It's
bounce
not
the
gonna be
wave,
freeze
and then
because Gragas, literally Gragas is recalling. They call Gragas to help them push the wave and look for the gank. And if not, at least push the wave. That's
Why
what
do
they're
you think? I'm just like changing even the question. I don't give a fuck if Gragas comes down because that means he's spending time. That's fine. But if he needs to break
ideally we want to.
why would you pick a prio lane to then give
But
away prio?
stop talking about it like that. Like
No,
draft doesn't work like that. Like we don't pick. Come on, like
What? No, but that's legit how it
no,
goes.
like
Okay, so what you say is you freeze this, they start walking in here, they get vision on Graves. They make sure that they spot anyone and that gives them room to move. Maybe they can gank mid, it's pushed up. You're saying give them room. That's what you're telling me.
are you saying we're giving, if you're able to freeze on them, are we giving them room?
Yes, because they push it in.
Do you feel well when you're like when you're playing, if you were playing Kalista and Taric against Ashe Zyra and you they bounce the wave and then they freeze it like close to the turret, are you feeling well then? Are you feeling like
What?
and you can't shove the wave, like you can't get the bounce up, they can permanently freeze it in that position? Are you feeling good?
You can't perma freeze it. 'Cause
Why?
You're fucking pooping. You can't trade them if you're freezing. And if you can't
Yeah.
trade them, that means they can't clear the wave.
Yeah, but I mean they have to commit to like they have to commit
it's
to
really
unlock
easy
the
as
freeze.
fuck.
And
It's
if
not that bad. And then even in worst case scenario, they call Gragas down, they break the freeze, and they just walk into jungle for vision control. But by not pushing this, or at least not keeping it even, I think you just give up control. I don't think that's what you want. That's why you draft the pushing lane. If you pick a range support champion into a melee support champion, you draft the pushing lane.
In general, I agree that you want to be pushing, but at this point in time, and like the way the wave is moving right now, the way we know we knowing where the Gragas is and the Graves also being like in close proximity, then like for sure there's no better option for us than to let the wave push into us here. Like it's really bad for them. Like this sucks for them. Like
I think you just want to keep pressure on and get vision control and fuck Gragas. That's what
he's already fucked. Like the Graves. I mean, if he has to like walk into the lane to help them to unlock the.
In select, we're saying like we want to go and get this prio on this.
Stop like referring back to like what. Just play. You know what's good. Like when you're in a game, okay, is like option A or B. What is better? Stop like don't like take it back to like a moment in the past and think this wasn't the plan, or like you want to. The plan is to win the game, right? You're playing to win the game. So if there are two options and one is better, then you go for the better option, no matter like what you talked about.
That's the point. I don't think your option's better. I just don't see it. I just legit don't see it.
Okay, so if you look at their way, like look at their caster minions right now. The wave is pushing. Like okay, now you thin it out, but I still think it's fine. Like you back off here. You let it like, or you keep thinning it out. So and then you try to set up a freeze.
What you're saying is a few things. So you back off, which means Kalista can free auto the wave. Yeah, they can build a slow push, which means it's gonna like massive stack against.
No. They don't have enough creeps to like have a slow push. Like, you kill that. If you have to, you can kill the backline like right now. It's already thin enough for you to like one Syra Q and then W from Ash kills it all. That's not an argument. Like they can't do a slow push here. Here stop. Like why are you attacking the minions now? Like you let your two casters die here, and then you just freeze the wave like where you're standing now, pretty much. Like you move back a little bit, and then the Graves is still in close proximity. I think the Graves should like if Graves is looking to enter their jungle, which I don't necessarily think is a good idea. I think you could go for wolves even. But if that's what you're doing, then yeah, I think you should go from the other side, like where we have the vision, the Tribush.
I think in every scenario.
No, but let me finish the point. Like, okay, kill the Scuttler and then move into like you can move into the Tribrush.
No matter what we do at lane here, he wants to move down. Like literally, no matter, even if we freeze it, he wants to move down.
Yeah, we actually.
Yeah, but it's still gonna be a lot better. Like, okay, so yeah, let's say
Raptors are taken. Can you take them if they are down? Can you take Raptors if we know they are down? Look at the Raptors. Like we spotted that they are taken already. Gragas will be on.
You're also saying basically by letting her auto, she's gonna lifesteal back to health. She's gonna recover from like your option.
How much health is she getting from like that's not an argument.
It stacks up, and it's like Terra heals are kind of.
It doesn't stack up when it's like 3 minions. Like we're talking about, we're not talking about like playing like this for like 20 minutes. We're talking about this specific case. I know. Okay, so now if you let these two casters die now and just hold this wave, and you have Graves moving into through the Tribrush, or like just like he could even go for wolves. Like that's the thing. We have a lot of more options. Like if you let like they can't walk up. Like if
actually they can, because they're level 3 as well, and we're level 2 unless we kill this.
Yeah.
They were level 3. We were level 2.
Yeah, we need. That's the.
Okay. Move back. I want to see when you get level 3. Move back.
Yeah, literally the minion I just passed then.
They are level 3.
They're level 3 now.
Yeah.
We are 2.
Yeah,
we want
going,
level 3. We want level 3.
Yeah, we were like that's the talk here. Like,
yeah, now we get 3. Now we get 3.
Yeah, you're still gonna get level 3 though. It's just gonna take a little bit longer.
Yeah, but that means they can pressure it. If we don't farm,
No, they can't pressure because Graves is close by. Especially if the Graves is walking, like as we said, if we really want to play it safe and he walks into the Tribrush there, or like just like hovers
but
for a while.
That's the whole problem.
No, the problem is that you like there are multiple problems, but the big or like the consistent problem. That's
the biggest. Macro-wise, that's the biggest problem.
Like I don't think no matter what the situation is, if we freeze, if we push, that doesn't matter. Grace pads down, always. Doesn't change.
Yeah, but you like if you freeze there, then like the Graves can go to wolves. Like if you freeze at so you give more options to the Graves if you do that. And also like if he just hovers, like they're in a super bad position if you freeze like a couple steps behind Dash right now.
I don't think we can hold the freeze, honestly.
But you don't need to hold it for like you don't have to perma freeze. It's
Oh, okay, but what you say basically is even if they don't, if they commit the Gragas doesn't like to break it in, that even then, what you're saying is they get control over the lane, they get control over river, because that's what happens, and then they can get vision down.
So we already killed a scuttler, so we already have like permanent or like.
And on top of that, you give them room to get wards in, so this guy can fucking TP who has prio all the time. Because I do think Renekton has prio over Ornn almost always. So you're literally saying, to me, what you're saying is just fucking suicide. Actually think it's suicide. If they're smart, it's suicide, I swear. Because the wave's gonna bounce back after that if they break it.
But yeah, if they shove it in, but they can't shove it in. Like
they can. They just fucking bring this motherfucker in, and it's
and the Graves is close proximity, so then we bring Graves and we win the 3v3 because they're like
Graves
too late.
Yeah, Graves isn't there in time because he was on wolves.
Yeah.
I don't think it changes. Graves always adds down.
Wait, he wasn't on. Like Graves was in our when Syra died. Graves was in Riv, right? But yeah, I agree. Like if Graves is gonna stay around, then the closer the better, pretty much. But I think if we play that properly, he can go to wolves, and then we can
I don't think it's proper. I don't think it's the proper answer. I think we just die. I think if they actually properly
how do you die?
set it up.
What?
After, like, they drop a ward, Renekton has TPS prio, we can always TP. Which means we have to switch to sweeper on this death.
Yeah.
We have to, we're forced to, basically. And then we have to like sweep everything so we just don't die. Because then you're already in the mindset like, okay, but that means you gave them control over lane. Which means they have control over this area, which sets up for a repeat gank once this bounces back. If Gragas is camping, if Gragas decides to like, okay, this wave's, okay, so they crashed it with Gragas, right? The wave's gonna bounce back after that. They dropped the ward as well, so Renekton has the possibility to TP play. Veigar has the possibility to TP play. Yeah? So you have to keep that in mind. That means we were forced into a sweeper, because we want to get rid of the TP play.
I think Renekton is inting if he's trying to TP at this point, but sure, I mean we can...
At this point, yeah, but after reset.
After reset, like, he just pushes in the wave, he goes back, he buys items, and then...
Like, the only way that works is if you guys are like shoving in them. I mean,
yeah, but that's what you want to do. That's what's gonna happen because the wave's bounced.
Yeah, but you're still like you still have the same tools as you did coming into the game. You're still Ashe Syra. Like you can still take like they can't keep control of the lane. Like you can still.
What happens? What happens then?
What do you mean? Like from where?
What happens if they can't control the wave anymore after? That means we're gonna get pushing, right?
I mean, you can do whatever you want. You have control. What?
No, the wave's bouncing.
Yeah, so you have to crash it. I mean.
Yeah. At the moment we crash, we get TP'd and we get fucked. Gragas is here. If he's still here.
We cannot.
Yeah, so then you like okay. So then you.
There's no many ways for them if you give up that.
Okay,
position.
you knew that from beforehand, right? Like there's a possibility for them to drop wards and then Renekton might look for a TP. And the only way that works out is if like the Gragas comes as well and you guys are in like a bad position where the Kalista and the Taric can go on at the same time.
I think they can break it 2v2, but that's
they can't break it 2v2.
If they can't, then I think they can, because if they force the trade on us, then we use spells and then the waves. Like,
yeah, and we were level 2.
Like that's the downside of having AoE spells.
Well, this is not the same sequence, but.
It is the same sequence because that's literally what I'm trying to prevent. Like by pushing, you don't give them any room to work with. They're stuck on their tower, which means you get full control and decide where to go.
Yeah.
If you give up this and you freeze this, you give them room to move on the map.
Yeah, that's.
And don't come back to me if I die afterwards on a TP play. Literally, I'll just fucking end it. I actually will. Like I will fucking not give two fucks. I'll farm my wave.
But
like I legit think your option is losing lane. And possibly even game. Because then this guy gets ahead, this guy gets ahead, these get ahead. Lane's over. Like, actually, and I think
The only way they get ahead from a TP play is if you're in like a really bad position and the Gragas is there with the Graves not being there.
Yeah, but
and like
that's what happens. Graves is gonna go pat topside. His camps are up topside, and you're saying he has the farm, so he's batting topside unless he's giving
okay,
up
put on enemy vision. Or like full, like so we see everything.
This is everything.
Okay, so Gragas has no camps. What side?
Oh, he's gonna go for this gank after.
Okay.
Like he cancels his real even.
Yeah, they actually call,
No, but-
enemies call that they have to push the wave.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean like not at this. I mean later when you talked about the like potential TP play.
Yeah, but it's because we don't freeze. That's what's gonna happen.
No,
That's
but
what I'm telling you.
keep going. Jump ahead a bit. Or not, never mind. Okay.
Just speed.
Stop. Okay, so is this when you think they're gonna like? Yeah, you have a slow push here, and you're afraid that they're gonna.
If they get full control that early in the game, if they drop a ward here, there's a potential TP play. Yeah.
Yep.
Which means we're forced, because the potential's there, we're forced on getting Sweeper and Zyra already, which means we're less safe because we can't ward as much, right? I think.
First of all, I don't think you're forced to get Sweeper, but I mean,
I think
you can make an argument for it. But
fucking garbage for like the full ward timer. But yeah, that means you can't. The wave's gonna bounce back. You're 100% fucking dead. Either you lose CS or you're dead, which means.
Okay, so this is the point I want to make. You say okay, Graves is gonna path top. The same is true for Gragas, right? So Gragas is not gonna be there. So if they go for a TP play, it's gonna be the Renekton only.
Yeah, but 3-man is ahead. Enough.
Yeah, if they get like a perfect like he's level 4, it's like and also if you like the wave is slow push, like your wave is gonna be big. So like the Kalista and the Taric can't just like arbitrarily trade with you in the big wave. So they have to be like far back. So they like if you invite them to like trade in your wave and you think they're inting and you don't think about the potential Renekton TP, then it might work. But you all like when you're telling me all this, like obviously you know about that possibility. So then you're gonna play the lane accordingly to.
What I'm trying to prevent by shoving the wave or at least keeping it equal is preventing them getting the room to set up any play at all. Just don't.
Yeah.
No, but this is the next argument. Like it's already happened. Like I want to like.
Fucking listen, right? No. Just keep interrupting me. Kalista wants to make plays, right? That's the lane you pick it for. Like it's a play make lane, right? Do you agree or not?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, you wanna get the shit done around the Kalista. Renekton is the strong side in this case, so he has Prio, which offers them the capability of like having the room to do something with Renekton. Gragas, same champion. He's a champion that kind of wants to get shit done with his Predator and with like the kit he has, right?
I mean, it's a possibility, but it's not like.
He's not the greatest farm champ.
What did you say?
General.
He's not.
He's not the greatest farm. You don't pick Gragas to farm.
I mean, he can farm. He's not bad with items. He doesn't scale bad. I mean, he farms slow. Like Graves is gonna farm faster, but he's not gonna be like useless if he.
I feel like if you're telling me all that shit, then I don't know. I just feel like you want to play it super passive always. In the series.
No. Like you're looking at it. One of the problems is that you're looking at it too one-dimensionally. Like you're talking about it like there's only one like reasonable way the like things are gonna play out. That's the first problem. There are always gonna be multiple.
I think you give them too much room to make something happen, which is what you want to prevent.
But
That's
like, first.
By giving them control over lane.
This is not the thing which makes it hard for me to argue, because I don't know if you're talking about like this specific scenario, if you're talking about like the because you keep going back to like the draft, and then you talk about like different scenarios, and like I don't know if you're talking about the whole game, or if you're talking about games in general, or if you're talking about this specific. Okay, so
in general, the situation, like I said, so this could be like Caitlyn Karma, doesn't matter. Something that you pick a prio lane that's pushing, right?
Yeah.
This is a pushing prio lane. That's what matters, right?
Yeah.
They pick a play make lane. The only way for them to answer us is either find it all in, or somehow get plays done. So like that kind of like all-inning is getting a play like done, right?
But,
That's their way to win. That's their win condition.
What you say?
basically.
Did you say play or plate?
Playmaking. Play.
Yeah, play. Yeah, they need to
make
kill
something
you.
happen.
Yeah.
They're forced to make something happen because of
Yeah.
the natural event.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
of
yeah.
range, poke, whatever. So where can you not, like, if you're stuck under tower, there's no room to go set up plays because you're stuck under tower farming.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's my thought process. So I want to prevent them from getting out of tower. That's my thought process here. The
Yeah.
only way they can stop this is by bringing Gragas over, by getting the Gragas gank. We knew he wasn't red buff. Yeah? We had Graves on bot side before. I can pause it like right here somewhere. So we knew he's bot side. I think the most important thing in this scenario for the whole team, because this is going to change anything. I think here on the bot side, like it's most important to just make sure this lane can keep playing like this and keep choking out their Kalista.
Yeah, I agree.
And that means, so Graves here is trading his time, which is fine. Like you don't need, you're gonna be stronger anyway, and you're gonna be useful anyway. But Graves trades his time, guarantee the safety of this pushing lane, and prevent them from getting out of town just by pathing down here and being here. Yeah? Which in this case, they do make a play. Graves is here to answer, like right away, literally, because he's literally in river here.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change that Zyra misplayed. That shouldn't happen. But in general, I think there's no scenario where Graves does not want to pat down after this scuttle. Like, and no matter,
yeah.
even if you take your approach, that's what I'll second. So that's my approach, right? I want to keep him here, prevent him from getting vision, to prevent them doing anything. Which also, in return, it's part of the map kind of like awkward to play. Gragas can't really do much around this playmake lane, which is the strongest lane for them to make a play in. I mean, if you dive Orm, Gragas run doesn't sound that strong. I mean, it's a strong Renekton is good, but I don't think it's the best option for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear. It's clear that they want to gank bot lane.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So if Graves moves bot here, it means that they cannot go for the play yet, and we have like Graves loses his time. But if they wanna make the play anyway, Gragas has to wait, and then he will waste even more time. So it's gonna be like 50-50. And most likely, if they see Graves, the Gragas would reset most likely.
Yeah.
And then they don't get the play, and he has to go topside.
Like the only thing that like in my enemy perspective, I feel like the only thing they can do to like come back from the early lane that happened, like they're out of potions already. We still have all potions. Like they're actually in a very awkward position. The only thing they have going for them is this possibility of this play, the gank on Gragas, right?
Yeah.
That's literally the Gragas' only play, because we knew he wasn't red buff. The only play he can make here is bot lane. I think by moving Graves down, you remove the possibility for him to do anything.
That is one way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you trade Graves' time to remove the enemy condition to win, which guarantees, basically, the 2v2.
Yeah, and I think we beat Graves to deny Gragas.
And then I'll talk about what you said before.
But me or what? Hello.
Let me type into Davros real quick. Okay. So I think you just want to remove the possibility, and then also keeping in mind that they want to make stuff happen in this lane. I think you want to get rid of the opportunity for them, or as much as you can, to set up any possible plays, anything. Like this is the best ward they can get in, basically, because they couldn't get out of lane.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like these are like the best wards they can get.
Yeah. But okay. All right. I agree with the general reasoning that you want to
That's my thought process, right? So I want to keep the lane at least even, or to their side. So they
Yeah.
cannot set anything up. So they cannot put the ward down for a possible Renekton TP because he has Prio, which means he can push the wave in and then
Yeah.
look for a TP play.
Yeah.
Veigar, if the same situation happens, I don't think the Veigar gang's as strong, but the Renekton definitely potential because it's literally point and click CC.
Yeah.
And these are two very vulnerable champions if that happens. So I don't
Yeah.
think you want to give them the room to get any of that set up, or possibly set up even. Yeah. So I think if you get it frozen, and even if they invest, like if they can't break it 2v2, even if they invest the Gragas, pushing it in, that means they get control of this area and like the river area, so they can't set up plays for after, and that means the wave's gonna bounce back, which means we're in an awkward position because then it pushes, and they have full control here, which means we're face checking, and they have the potential of making the TP play because if there's a ward down here. So if that happens, that means Zyra kind of has to go sweeper to prevent those wards from happening. So you remove the play, it's like the counteract, right? And then you just have less vision to play with because you can't place as many wards because Zyra has sweeper now. I think that's really awkward to play. So I think just investing the Graves like few seconds here removes the complete play from Gragas, kind of fucks their lane because they were losing. That's my thought process here. You just remove plays from them, which is how you want to play this. You want to play, and then you just keep this. You get like plating gold maybe, and you build like a farm lead because they're running out of sustain. They have to go on an awkward base at some point, which gives you like dragon control non-stop. They have zero vision around dragon, which is what we wanted to play for. I think Graves can go like after this. Graves can like either reset or run back, clear his camps, recall, come back, dragons up. We get control of the wave. Boom, dragon. That's literally what I'm thinking. Like,
Yeah. Okay, I agree with your like general thought process about how you want to like have them always be like pushed in, or like have them make it so they have limited options about what they can do, because like make it so that they can't can't get engages or like TPs or anything off. I think that's a good idea. As also with the point you made about how you typically want to trade with the Ashe and Desire. You want to poke them, and it's gonna be harder. It's gonna be harder like to do it behind the huge minion wave than to do it like when they're under their turret. All of that I agree with. But in this particular case, I still think that you should like acknowledge the fact that okay, the wave is pushing into us. It's the wave is not too big, like so that they can like get a full crash off unless they get help from the Gragas. Especially not if we thin it out, which we still can do because they're not close enough to like contest or anything like that. The gray. Can we? Okay. No, never mind. So yeah, the Graves kills the. Does he kill the Scuttler now, or is it already done?
As soon as it spawns, he's gonna kill it. I think this is still fine. Like he's using his time, he can kite it down.
Yeah, like getting us getting this Scuttler is really big for like bot lane vision as well. Okay, so here we broke the freeze. So that's where I think the mistake is, because like if you go for the other options, you don't break the freeze, you let it push a bit back. Then you do like as you said, you allow them to walk up further. They can get some vision down, which could potentially be scary for TP plays. And then also the Gragas can move up further if he's like going for the lane gank, which he was. So what I think is a good idea here is to have the Graves like hover. Graves should be a bit. I think he should be like closer. You could stand like on the Scuttler basically, just hover around there. So that you can either like when you know what your next play is gonna be, you can either just go to Wolves or you can be close enough to.
But what does he get from going topside?
I think are you still there, Max? I think the reasoning was to try to find the.
Max is not here anymore.
Okay, I think it was to find the Gragas.
Yeah, but we knew that he has taken the Raptors already.
Yeah.
We knew the Raptors were gone. Why would he look at the Raptors? Is Gragas gonna like go and see if the Raptors are gonna? Like,
that doesn't make sense. He shouldn't go for it.
We know Gragas is
your option, my option, like the freeze or pushing it. Gragas has to, or Graves bans down here.
Yeah.
Sure.
He shows
Yeah,
up
but
more,
I mean,
they
the
would
thing
go
with my option is that it creates a bit more options for the Graves, because if a Graves just keeps hovering on the, he could hover like a bit like to the right of the kill scuttler, basically. He could hover at the entrance to run there.
I mean, he can just literally move in here. Even
Well, like
if he,
I would argue that okay,
just
so
move in, try-
to like make the whole, like, my whole argument make sense. The way I want to play it is have Graves around there, and then you guys freezing the wave like a bit further back, and then like the options that they around there, the options that they have.
Graves is there.
Yeah. Okay.
If
So
Graves
the
is
options.
there,
Let me finish the whole
let him
the
finish.
process.
Okay.
So for the options I see it is they should, right, the Gragas is not there, like the Gragas has reset or like went top or whatever, and they try to break the freeze on their own. I don't think they can do that because you're still too strong for them to just walk up, and even if they do break it, you can still like probably tank it like a bit closer to your turret. You do give up the, as you said, like, you do give them the option to put some wards down. It doesn't look like.
I think you give them like control over possible plays, which is something
You give them. I mean, you could argue that. I don't think it's a real problem, but what you do, like the thing that you do is you let them walk up basically, and then what you do with that, then I mean, I don't know. But
I mean, you're basically saying, what if this was not Graves and this is like a gank champion, and we have like slightly better like setup for a gank, because I don't think we win the 3v3 just purely based on the CC they have and like the early game power, because Kallista's an early game powerhouse. Tarek is actually.
I think we.
Advantage as well.
I think it depends how it plays out, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really, like, okay. So let me still make the final point. Okay, so in my scenario, you have it frozen. You have it frozen a bit back, and then the Gragas. Okay, so which one should we do first? The one where they try to break it themselves, or
You freeze there.
yeah, you freeze there, and then they try to break it themselves, or Gragas comes up. Which one?
It's 2v2. 2v2.
2v2. Okay. Okay, so I want the Graves to be like closer. I want him to be like there. Yeah. Or yeah, look around the scutter even, like, because then you make it even less likely for him to be spotted. Like they aren't sure he's there, so they're still like not, they're still taking a risk by walking up like that. But they feel safe because they have the Gragas behind them. So yeah, they walk up. You guys start trading with them inside your wave. It's not gonna be like a favorable trade for you because like you're tanking more minions, and the minions are blocking some of your skill shots. But you still managed. I still think you managed to keep the wave about where it is. And then like once they walk up like that, then we can have the Graves path towards you. So then like they're really shoved up, and I mean, yeah.
Okay, that means Graves is literally not doing anything while he's just waiting here. Literally.
I think like he only needs to wait until he sees how they react to you guys setting up the freeze.
Yeah,
like if so I think you has to wait maybe like.
Yeah, before this. Okay, wait. Let's go back a bit.
Okay, can I say something fast?
Yeah.
Okay. I think in game we communicated that Graves is bot side and can answer to Gragas, and then it was like, okay, at this point, okay, pause there, pause right after this minute, pause. Okay, look at Graves. Okay, he's gonna get this cuddle now. Okay.
Yeah.
Pause now. Okay. Yeah, and okay, we took the minutes already. Like he should say that, okay, just like don't push or anything. I'll come bot for counter gank or something, because you know, like we can keep him, because we know that kind of Gragas either ganks or backs.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, for sure.
Is like,
But then the thing is that, I mean, if you can get the counter gank off, and we can actually like, we could probably even get a kill on maybe the Tarek or something.
If that's the case, then he needs to communicate this, that he wants to go for the counter gank.
Yeah.
But I actually don't think we went 3v3 because
Yeah.
of the lack of CC. I think if they just bought them
Well, you don't have to. You don't really have to. Like, you're close to your turret, so they can't kill any of you basically. And like if the Graves like walks into them not knowing where the Gragas is, then he might die. But
Yeah,
he
exactly.
doesn't have to like he doesn't have to walk in that aggressively. You can do it to just pretty much shove them away from. You might even be able to hold the. You might even be able to hold the freeze if he comes and like pushes them away. But since the Gragas is there, it's probably gonna be a fight. So they then like the realistic thing for them is to try to just break the freeze and then back off. Because like if we like the way we can always fight in a way which like we just peel back. We don't full commit. We just trade.
I just feel like if Graves was there, it would be pretty good because they kind of hard commit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Graves should be closer, but once we know what they're gonna do, like if when you set up the freeze and they don't contest it, then the Graves can walk to wolves, right? Because they're too afraid of what if the Graves is here, because they have they spotted him? Maybe they have. How did they see him? Oh no, actually later. Okay.
like here there was a war.
Yeah. But before, I don't think they knew. But I mean, they could probably reason their way to knowing that he just killed the scuttler. But still, like they don't have perfect information of where Graves is. So they like they are taking a risk just by walking up. So they might just accept that. Okay, well we're fucked. We just reset or whatever. Or like they bring the Gragas. But let's say they don't really like they don't really know what to do. Like you freeze there and they think, what do we do? Like and then we like enough time for Graves to decide, okay, I'm going to wolves, nothing is happening. So Graves walks to wolves, and then after that they realize, we need help from Gragas, which is who is like standing in the brush. Then they like walk up together with the Gragas to break the freeze. Then Graves is at wolves, so then like Graves is gonna be too far away to respond to that. Okay, fine. They managed to get the crash. I mean, we trade a camp for like them getting a crash off. I still think that's totally fine for us.
But I mean, I think it's gonna be really rough. I mean, because of the fight, they're like much lower, so you wouldn't know how much health they actually would have. So it's hard to say blindly. But like they were pretty healthy before this play happened. Like in terms of health, I think they can force a trade, which if we retaliate, which is like something you do once you're kind of stuck in a situation, you just force a trade on a freeze, which means they will start using AoE spells on you. It's like any champion, like Lucian Q, like fucking Ashe W, Zyra E, Q. If you hit the wave or hit the minions with that, retaliating, then like they just get the push because you hit the wave and then it's not frozen.
Yeah.
Which is basically what they want to do, because also if you hit back on them, all the minions are going to be hitting. So it's really awkward to trade. Especially in this specific scenario with like massive AoE and like I can't really volley through a wave.
I think in general, like if it's a 2v2, if it's a 2v2 scenario, like we know that neither Graves or Gragas is there.
I think they can force a trade, take a really bad trade in this case, break the freeze and recall. I think they can. They will lose some CS if we manage to bounce it, but I think it's better.
I agree. If Graves wasn't that close, then I think they can do that. But in this case, I don't think they can.
I mean, Gragas is gonna be here because he's fucking challenger. He's gonna be here for sure to cover the rest.
Yeah.
And I think if Gragas just sits here in the wave or in a bush or whatever, and Graves face checks it, he actually dies.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But also, what I think
we know that Gragas isn't coming from the tribe rush, so the only way he can be there is through the lane. We know that.
But look at the point also is I don't know why, but look at what the Graves does actually. I think he does nothing. He gets one ward. Like he doesn't spot the Gragas. He gets one ward out of this. Why doesn't he just double scuttle if he doesn't wanna go for bot?
I don't like this. I think he didn't know that he took the raids, or well, I don't know.
We knew it. It's
but did Max know?
It's too late right now. At this moment, the play's over. He should just run up mid, like trade this guy and then take top side.
Yeah.
He should just go for double scuttle to answer. Like he doesn't do anything, which is kind of
like I feel like that's the problem because it feels like I feel like I don't wanna flame, but I feel like this is the one example how he gets like out jungled. Like he doesn't know how to answer. I feel like at this point he should know already what he's doing. He decides to take his own wolves. Like is that a good answer? I should have blasted, I agree. If I blast that, they lose the play, but it doesn't remove the fact that he should still be getting something back. Like I don't think it's good if he gets like wolves. if
I
I
think
lose flat.
him just being here puts more safety on us and just removes
Yeah.
plays. And then because the situation as it plays out now, he should have answered with like trading mid and then running top side and taking like top side. I actually think like, how does Graves not win 1v1 against fucking Gragas level 2 and 3? I think Graves is actually like picked for early aggressive invading, but I think you just want to pick lanes with Prio and then just run into enemy jungle and just fight the jungler. That's why you
Yeah,
want Graves,
yeah,
in my
you
opinion.
do, you do.
Fucking
I
everyone is
I
all
think
of you.
it
Like,
depends what you're.
Look, this Gragas burned also mid flash there. Like, look at how much he's done already. Like,
Actually, Graves moving through mid would have prevented this as well because the wave
Yeah.
fully crushed.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's like whatever. It's like a chain of events. So
yeah, but that's what I
think
mean.
he
Like,
should have traded at least something. That's true.
yeah,
but-
yeah. Like,
Okay, but-
I
but
feel like
I think
if
this
you
is-
only farm your own jungle, it's pointless to pick Graves. You could go Karthus then.
Well, I think Graves skills really well, but I know,
Yeah,
like
yeah, but
it's
he
not.
has a point where it's like
It's not
What-
only about like.
he's
if-
strong early. That's why you pick him. Honestly, you pick him because he can farm fast.
Well,
but also
that's
because
not why I
he's super
picked him,
helpful.
but maybe that's why other people pick him. But
In pro play, they pick it for that reason specifically.
well,
just because
if they want
he
early
farm
aggression, they
fast.
pick Lee Sin or like. I mean,
But because he has both. He has like winning 1v1s, and then he's also able to
Farm.
like farm.
he
really
outscales like 95%
he's,
of all the.
he's played for pressure. Like he's not picked for he farms fast, which means he skills really quickly because he gets items quicker than other people. But he's also like strong at denying enemy plays and just like looking for trades with the enemy players. Like Graves is a really strong champ. You just like walk up mid, trade the enemy mid laner, and just like move into jungle because he's gonna sustain anyway. Right, and then this mid laner is like, fuck me, I just got traded, like, I lost like 300 health because of fucking Graves, and then
Yeah,
he
yeah, I
does
mean,
it,
like,
he comes back down, he does it again, you know, and he's just like,
if
he's
you
just,
have
matches
good
the auto
if you have
game.
good opportunities to gank or like pressure lane and it's not gonna like cost you anything, of course you should do it. But I mean, it's not as
You have
easy
to- you have to-
as
I
that.
mean, it kind of is, but somewhat is, depends on the situation
Well,
and matchup.
Or at least you create pressure, if not
Yeah,
in
yeah.
But
just
I mean,
by
like
moving,
the
showing.
pressure has to mean something. Like like just creating pressure, like just that doesn't really do anything.
But I feel like he didn't have any pressure. Like, by now, he hasn't had any pressure. That's the first time he presses enemy Gragas at 6 minutes. That's the...
fucking troll that connected, Terexon actually connected here,
Yeah.
fucking troll.
But
Outlook was a really pixel.
Yeah, I think it's like most of it is a chain effect of what happened early on. But I agree he shouldn't have walked into the race like that. That was weird. I think he should have stayed around the scuttler and then.
Okay, so someone
Either-
just PM'd me from Leaguepedia, wants to ask me questions.
Okay,
Ooh, interview.
hot stuff.
Okay, but I think we should take this and also tell Max like what the option is. But I think both situations, if we want to play for the gank, I think he has to communicate it because purely
Yeah.
to you looking, we want to shove.
Yeah.
And also because that's my like our mindset.
But I mean, like, even if you, yeah. I mean, I think it's more about that, like, what's the mindset. But I mean, like, if you know that, okay, in this case, like, even if you have the, you know, like, aggressive or pushing or whatever, even if you have that kind of lane, if you know that okay, in this case, the freeze is gonna be really good, like, wouldn't you go for it? Like, why not? If you know that a freeze in a certain scenario would
Well,
like
if-
fuck the
Well, if
enemies
he
up.
but he should say that he wants to help us, but to
Yeah, but
freeze
you
the game,
keep
not
talking
to
about him.
scare
Like,
the enemies away.
I mean, you,
Scare enemies away.
if you want to improve at the game, you should think about yourself first of all. Like,
Yeah, but yeah, true. But I mean, it's a team game. Like it's
yeah,
different.
but
It's a
I
team.
mean-
Like because someone else does this, you need to like react like this. You need to like you can combine
Yeah.
things. So it's
Yeah.
different. You can't take
Yeah,
it
yeah.
out of can't put it in a vacuum. That's it.
yeah, but yeah, I think it comes down like in general. I agree with you. You want to have the pressure at like as much as you can, and like make sure that you have enough vision so that you can spot the Gragas coming from any angle. So you pretty much make it impossible for him to gank you. That's like an ideal state overall, I would say. But in this particular scenario, when the Graves is like we have a pretty good idea where the Gragas is, and we have the Graves close by, and we know that like they have to do something to actually break the freeze there. I think the freeze is gonna be good in that particular scenario, especially because they don't have any. You have pots left, and they don't, right? In So like even if you take a bad trader, then like they can't heal up. You can heal up from your pots. So like the pressure is on them to break the bad lane state, pretty much. Which I think is like that's a position we like to be in. Like if we force them to do something to like put the lane back to normal, that's good for us. And then in general, what you said about the wards, like them, like when they can push up, they can have wards put down. I would agree that's like it's a bit of a risk in general, but in this case, I don't think it's that big of a risk because I think the Renekton is like it's still gonna be really hard for the Renekton to pull off a TP gank that early in the game. I mean, they could just save it and like wait for later. But then the way I think you should play, like if you play it like the way I proposed, then the way you play it out after is first you like contest for the freeze, like they contest the freeze, and then Grave shows up, Grave shows up. They let's say the like bad scenario, they manage to shove in the wave, and like then nothing happens, and then they get a good reset off. And they also like play some wards. Then we and also the wave bounces. Then we use the wave to to crash it back after they reset, or like if they stay, then we can I mean then it just goes back to the like level 1 pretty much, like resets. But yeah, I mean they do have the wards, or I mean potentially I would say like the same for you. They probably already used their wards, so they probably couldn't place them. But if they did, I don't think they're gonna look for the TP play like on that wave. So what you want to do is shove it back as quickly as possible, and then you can reset. And then instead of going for the sweeper, I would say go for a pink ward, because you're gonna like after you reset, like go back, get your first first items, then you're still like the lane dynamic is still the same. Like you still Ashe Zyra against Kalista Taric, so you're still gonna be able to like push them in again. But the downside is now they potentially have a ward behind you. But then if you buy a control ward,
they're stronger because they get like a free. Their all in potential is back again because they're like full health, full mana, and they got like a free reset and whatever. And they get like more items.
Yeah, I mean, if they try to all in, like, you like right when they come back, I guess. I mean, but
yeah, that was what I was looking for.
Yeah,
actually.
but I don't
No,
think I think you can play around that. I don't think they can just like I don't know. I still think you're stronger than them at that point. And then you bring a couple, like you can bring control ward on the Zyra instead of a sweeper, so you still have vision. And then like I mean, we could play around with the Graves trinket as well. Like maybe we can like if we really think we need a sweeper on the Zyra, we could like use the Graves wards for like more safety and yeah.
Okay, he's asking. He wants to put you on the Leaguepedia as well. They're making like a Leaguepedia for this like each tournament, you know. And I just gave us like all role names and country, but I don't know if you want to be on it.
Yeah, sure.
Well, what name do you want to be on there?
My real name or my
And your IGN, basically.
go with
whatever coach name you want to go with.
Go with Bobman.
Bobman?
Yeah. My
Double B, right?
Yeah.
Bobman, is it? It's
Yeah.
M-O-N, right?
Yeah, BOBBMON.
And you're Swedish, right?
Yeah. Oh, I've been talking way too much. My throat hurts.
True. I mean, it's good to have some of these, like, to get an understanding eventually.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's important to discuss stuff like this.
We should get in the habit of letting one finish the story.
He's open
Yeah.
up to that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah,
most of
what's
it,
not
yeah.
just
I can get super heated in it as well. Like, well, I mean, I don't get mad, but I just get like super.
Yeah.
discussion.
I'm the same. It's
Don't take it personal.
no, it's fine. I do the same thing like you.
I think we should just get in the habit. How close is this? Oh, fuck! I actually thought this was not gonna hit. That's like kind of troll.
It just really sucks. I think we really could have beat these guys, and like yeah, it sucks.
But that's what I mean. Like if we just fix these kind of like macro things and
Yeah,
mostly it's that. Like mechanically, I don't think
that's
that's that much superior.
micro. That's micro.
Yeah, like I don't think micro like
Yeah, but you know, like flash. I should have flashed to create it.
That's micro. That's micro. Sure.
Yeah. But I
That's,
mean,
that's solo queue as well. Like
yeah,
it's
like, yeah.
how close was this? Holy fuck!
It's pretty awkward. I think I missed T because I kind of panic. I have to like hit it or you die.
Why does the lane, the fucking line disappears? Like, how close was that? It's literally, I'm in there with like 1 foot.
Yeah.
Like, fuck me. Like, look at this.
Yeah, it's max.
Like my leg is like my bottom leg is getting cut off here.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. Hold up a moment.
What? Okay.